You're very welcome along to our preview of the Peter Kern Electrical Intermediate Football Final, which is happening at 2:30. You're very welcome along to our preview of the Peter Kern Electrical Intermediate Football Final, which is happening at 2:30 on Saturday in Tuam Stadium. Delighted to be joined by Caltra manager Gabriel Nocton. Firstly, Gabriel, I know it's a busy week for you guys. Thank you for joining us. And I suppose huge excitement. We saw a lot of scenes last weekend at Duggan Park, a lot of the green and white, and I'm sure that excitement is staying put throughout the week here.
Yeah, good to join you, Jonathan. Look, it's obviously been a while, certainly at adult level, where there's been an opportunity for us to get the bunting and flags out. Look, there was good excitement last weekend, obviously, in getting over the semi-final. I suppose that's really what semi-finals are about, obviously with the prize of playing in a county final. So, look, I suppose only having 1 week between the semi-finals and the final means that time is short enough. But look, there's a bit of a buzz, I suppose, building around Caltra and the parish. And I think I would have said to you last weekend, Jonathan, I suppose it's great to be involved this time of the year for small parishes, small communities, and have the enjoyment of looking forward to their adult team being involved in the county final.
Yeah, you touched on that, but I think that's an important point. That must be a challenge as well, because you have a couple of different facets really there. You have the high, I suppose, of getting over the line, but then look, the weather isn't the greatest at the moment. The clocks are going back. It's Halloween is fast as well. Heavy pitches. You don't have a lot of time to get things right. Is that a little balancing act now, getting the legs right for the weekend and getting the heads right as well? There's a lot of moving balls there.
Yeah, no, it is. Look, I suppose if you had a choice, you'd probably prefer if there was 2 weeks to prepare. But the fact that we're there, obviously nobody is complaining. Look, this week is light. The guys that were involved at the weekend got a recovery session in the pool on Sunday morning. We had quite a light session tomorrow night. Last night. We're together tomorrow night, and that's pretty much it this week. Look, thankfully we've come through the semi-final pretty much injury-free. So it's really just, I suppose, fine-tuning some things. Obviously, you don't want to change too many things from what has been working over the last number of weeks. Clearly, there's the context of a county final to prepare for, but you end up pretty much doing the same thing this week as you've done for previous weeks.
It's been a remarkable, I suppose, year to date. A lot of people stood up when you had that open round victory over Mial Brannock, and then you've kept that form the whole way through. There must be a lot of confidence in the squad at the moment.
Yeah, look at myself and the other members of the management team. Obviously, Niall Kine got involved with us a couple of years ago.
You're very welcome along to our preview of the Peter Kern Electrical Intermediate Football Final, which is happening at 2:30 on Saturday in Tuam Stadium. Delighted to be joined by Caltra manager Gabriel. You're very welcome along to our preview of the Peter Kern Electrical Intermediate Football Final, which is happening at 2:30 on Saturday in Tuam Stadium. Delighted to be joined by Caltra manager Gabriel Nocton. Firstly, Gabriel, I know it's a busy week for you guys. Thank you for joining us. And I suppose huge excitement. We saw a lot of scenes last weekend at Duggan Park, a lot of the green and white, and I'm sure that excitement is staying put throughout the week here.
Yeah, good to join you, Jonathan. Look, it's obviously been a while, certainly at adult level, where there's been an opportunity for us to get the bunting and flags out. Look, there was good excitement last weekend, obviously, in getting over the semi-final. I suppose that's really what semi-finals are about. Obviously, with the prize of playing in a county final. So, look, I suppose only having 1 week between the semi-finals and the final means that time is short enough. But look, there's a bit of a buzz, I suppose, building around Caltra and the parish. And I think I would have said to you last weekend, Jonathan, I suppose it's great to be involved this time of the year for small parishes, small communities, and have the enjoyment of looking forward to their adult team being involved in the county final.
Yeah, you touched on that, but I think that's an important point. That must be a challenge as well, because you have a couple of different facets really there. You have the high, I suppose, of getting over the line, but then look, the weather isn't the greatest at the moment. The clocks are going back. It's Halloween is fast as well. Heavy pitches. You don't have a lot of time to get things right. Is that a little balancing act now, getting the legs right for the weekend and getting the heads right as well? There's a lot of moving balls there.
Yeah, no, it is. Look, I suppose if you had a choice, you'd probably prefer if there was 2 weeks to prepare. But the fact that we're there, obviously nobody is complaining. Look, this week is light. The guys that were involved at the weekend got a recovery session in the pool on Sunday morning. We had quite a light session tomorrow night. Last night. We're together tomorrow night, and that's pretty much it this week. Look, thankfully we've come through the semi-final pretty much injury free. So it's really just, I suppose, fine tuning some things. Obviously, you don't want to change too many things from what has been working over the last number of weeks. Clearly, there's the context of a county final to prepare for, but you end up pretty much doing the same thing this week as you've done for previous weeks.
It's been a remarkable, I suppose, year to date. A lot of people stood up when you had that open round victory over Mial Brannock, and then you've kept that form the whole way through. There must be a lot of confidence in the squad at the moment.
Yeah, look at myself and the other members of the management team. Obviously, Niall Kine got involved with us a couple of years ago as our coach, and I've got 3 other really good guys, Mike Finnerty, Brian Kilroy, and Kevin Murray with me, and this is our 3rd year together. So look, we've added a couple of players each year for the last couple of years, but it's largely the same panel. So I suppose really, Jonathan, what you're looking for is progression each year, even if that's only small incremental improvement. And I think, look, we've been kind of just seeing that over the last couple of years. Obviously, we exited last year at the quarterfinal stage. So ultimately, this year you're looking to go beyond that. And so the group is now 2-3 years older than when we kicked off a couple of years ago. And I think that bit of extra experience is standing to them as we've progressed through the championship.
I got to touch on briefly the semi-final victory. A bizarre game, I would nearly say, in the fact that we had 1-1 scored by pretty much the sharpshooter in each side. That came up on 40 minutes, and you had conceded a goal after 8 seconds. That's not what you dreamt about in the week building up to the semi-final, was it? Concede a goal from the throw-in.
No, but look, I suppose it's better to concede it after 12 seconds than at the start than at the end. So yeah, clearly, it was obviously a planned move on Gillivelly's part, and we got caught. But I suppose it's when you're hit with situations like that obviously the onus is then on the players to respond in the best way possible. And with that happening so early in the game. And also look at the conditions on the day, and obviously they deteriorated with our game, certainly being the second game as well. It was never going to be a high scoring game. So even though we went 4 points down after 7 or 8 minutes, there was more than adequate time to recover. And once we kind of settled and found our patterns, we did come close to conceding a second goal, and obviously turned it around and went up the other side and got a goal. So look, in a long championship, there's going to be days like that where things happen. Thankfully, early enough in the game, you can address them. But look, I think it's probably maybe a feature of the growing maturity within the side that they were able to deal with that in the best way possible, and just I suppose just take it on.
Yeah, you must be so pleased with the second half performance, even when there's a bit of a mishap at the back led to a second goal. You finished the game so strongly on both ends of the pitch, defensively very solid, didn't concede a goal for a large chunk of the second half. There, and he scored for the large chunk of the second half, and then you got your scores when you needed the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, again, look, it was just one of those things that unfortunately can happen in a game. It did, but that only only brought the game back level, and thankfully, fairly quickly after that, we chipped in with a couple of points and built up a bit of a lead. And again, as I said earlier, it was never going to be a game with an awful lot of scores. And thankfully, we were, apart from those couple of basic errors defensively, we were quite tight right through. And as I said, once we went 2 and 3 and 4 up, obviously the game then became one just to manage to the end, and obviously we did that successfully.
I'm conscious of the team effort, and we saw the impact that you had from the bench as well, even in that semi-final victory. But we were only chatting earlier on, and Alan Octon seems to be the stand-up performer every week of the championship. It's great, you think back at the Michael Meehan and other players over the years in Caltra. It's great to have a player in such red-hot form.
Yeah, look at Alan. Alan's been in particularly good form this year. I suppose no more than a lot of the other members of the squad. I suppose there's been a growing maturity, not just with him, with a lot of the other players. And look, I think our team play is considerably better this year. A lot of obviously we're getting him on the ball more often than we would have previously, and that's obviously resulting in a good return. But look at there's other guys that have chipped in quite considerably with scores as well. It's not unusual when you look towards the end of a championship and you look at the breakdown of scores across teams. It's there's usually a small number of players contributing a significant percentage of the scores, and if you look at the breakdown of scores with Michael's, again, Gary Higgins has been a significant contributor on their side, so it's not unusual.
You must be so looking forward to the weekend as a neutral watching on. It promises to be a great final. Both sides in such good form. Seem to be full of confidence at the moment, and both like to play the positively, like to kick it in and move it fast. So not that it matters, I suppose, much for you guys. I suppose it's more the flip side of the challenge of facing Michaels in the final. It's certainly going to be a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, look, I think Jonathan, most pundits looking at the intermediate championship at the start of the year would have said that Michaels were probably the team to beat. I'd say a lot of people, including myself, were surprised that obviously the drop down last year from senior, and look, when you look through their squad, they are a senior side, and clearly they want to get back up as quickly as they can. We, on the other hand, I suppose, would have been further down the rankings at the start of the year, but just to have built nicely along the way. And I think it's not just this year. I think it's just a combination of that incremental improvement over the last couple of years. So massively looking forward to the game. I suppose also hoping, and obviously the last couple of days the weather has been considerably better. So hoping that continues and that we get a nice day conducive for good football. It's the only game in Tuam Stadium, so hopefully the pitch is good and dry and fast, and we get a game that both St. Michael's and Caltra followers can enjoy.
I suppose you're looking forward to seeing the new Joe O'Toole stand in Tuam Stadium, hopefully with a large chunk of green and white as well on Saturday afternoon.
No, I've no doubt. We played our first championship game there against Micheál Brannachs. It's really good playing in Tuam Stadium. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and obviously it's like anything. Everybody wants a piece of success. So as we've progressed through the championship, the numbers in terms of those supporting has been growing, and I'd be putting a call out to everyone in not just Caltra but in Ahaska and Fona and Castleblakeney and so on to get the green and white flags out and make sure they're in tune for 2:30 on Saturday.
Someone told me, I didn't check it out, but I believe it's 20 years on since the All-Ireland win as well. So you're looking to create history of your own. A lot of talk about that Caltra side, but you have the opportunity now on Saturday afternoon to create your own history.
Yeah, look, because inevitably, that comes up in conversation. It has to. I mean, that was such a fairy tale time for the club to win its first senior title in 2003, and then go on the following March to win the All Ireland. They were obviously magical times. So look at. I suppose it rekindles a lot of really, really good memories of that time. And but looking for a small club like ourselves, these things are rare, and what's rare, I suppose, is really special, and that's why it's a special week, and really, really looking forward to Saturday.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time, Gabriel. I know it's a very busy week with all the preparation and the short turnaround as well. Enjoy it, if that's the right word, in the build-up, and best of luck for the game on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, no, cheers. Thanks, Jonathan. Good to chat.
Now, I'm delighted to be joined by John Ruan, from a selector from the St. Michael's team, of course, who have a big day out on Saturday afternoon, 2:30 in Tuam Stadium, county final. John, I suppose they're exciting words to say straight away, aren't they?
Yeah, it has been a tough, I suppose, 12 months for us. We were relegated around this weekend last year. So preparing and being where we are now is a big step. So it's great. It's great. And it's great excitement within the club, and it's great motivation for all the lads as well.
Because I've referenced this a couple of times, but you often see the strength of everyone's true character, shall we say, when you're in a moment of where you don't necessarily want to be. And I've often say you look across the Premier League, you see teams that get relegated and they stay down and they don't come back, and it takes them forever. You're straight away, there's been no moping around. You've played some fantastic football, and now you're an hour away from getting back where you want to be.
Yeah, the intention is to play football the way it should be played. We've gone out. It has served us well on some occasions. It didn't go that well in the first game against Ardmore. We were probably a little bit too open and a bit too cavalier in it. We had to learn our lessons from that. And from there on, we've been very, very steady as we go.
Yeah, talk to me about that O'More game then as well. Like, so you've referenced the game in the group stages where they got the better of you, but my God, you fairly answered that last weekend in Duggan Park. A phenomenal performance, I would say.
Yeah, we got a good start in the game in August. We played well in it. Again, I suppose weather conditions probably suited Ardmore a bit better in the August time frame. Drier ground, livelier pitch, everything like that. They were a younger team. Last Saturday was probably more wintry conditions. Even though the pitch in Ballinasloe was in excellent condition, it was still a lot heavier than you would have had got in August. So it certainly played into our hands a bit more than it would have in August.
And getting over the line in that matter then as well, like semi-finals, what's that old saying? They're there to be won. But when you won it in the style that you did, that must make it extra pleasing.
Yeah, it makes it that little bit more dangerous as well. As I said, the complacency can set in that you're too good for this grade or something like that. But that's a dangerous mindset, especially with the very short turnaround. Like, I know it's 7 days, but really there's only 5 days there. You're recovering a day and you're preparing the last day. There'll be nothing done on a Friday before a game. So really I've only 5 days to come down from what was a high. Yeah, you know what I mean? Qualifying well, scoring well. So that is a danger, and it's something to be guarded against on Saturday.
So how are the bodies then? How's all the camp? They're obviously full of excitement, but you touched on it there earlier on as well. Heavy pitches, games coming thick and fast. It's as we touched on with Gabriel there as well earlier on. That is it's a challenge because, as you touched on, it's such a short space of time. We've seen it in the intercounty setup where, like if we look at Galway over the course of the year, it's been nearly every preview has been an injury update and challenging to mind that. So I suppose a county final will give an extra bit of a bounce to every player as well, you would imagine.
Yeah, well, we've lost Tygo O'Malley and Shane Carton first to Australia earlier on in the year. and Owen Day, which was probably one of our better players through the league this year, tore a hamstring and hasn't got a game of football since, and won't, I suppose, maybe for another 4 or 5 weeks. Other niggles are guys seem to overcome them when there's a final to be played. These niggles tend to go away. We're in fairly good condition that way. We're okay.
And it's going to be a unique final now as well. Caltra coming into this in great form as well. They had a good victory last time out against Glenamaddy and have impressed the whole way through. It'll be a difficult challenge. Yeah,
Caltra. I'm from Menlo originally, so I'd be well aware of the Caltra GA background. It's a great football community from Castleblakeney, Caltra, Haskra. They've been steeped in Gaelic football. We came across them quite a bit in the 2013 to 2017-18 time frame. We played them in league games and that. We wouldn't have played them now for the last 5 or 6 years, but I'm be well aware of what their abilities are. They're a strong team. They're a coming team, which is improving.
And yourselves then as well. Obviously, there's lovely scenes in Duggan Park, and you'll be looking for a big crowd to come down to Tuam Stadium on Saturday. But a good buzz around the place, no doubt.
Very good buzz around the place. We could have felt sorry for ourselves with the way last year finished up, but no, we've regrouped. Everything has gone well. Guys have put their shoulder to the wheel. Yes, you need a bit of luck. The club has put huge support and everything attached to the intermediate team, but not alone that, to the under-19s. The under-19s won the last 2 under-19B West, but they lost both county finals. So that's a warning to ourselves as well, that we're going into a final, but we need to be careful in it.
I'm just looking at your team sheet from last weekend, and even I suppose over the course of the year, I suppose you're blessed with so many players in right good form. I'm looking the whole way through. Stephen Kerr was really caught my eye at cornerback, very solid in the middle. Fintan Cruz, and obviously Conan Galler in the middle of the pitch. Ethan Florentine seems to run all day. You've looked at the scoring prowess then of Gary Higgins and Eamon Brannigan, and even I thought Dave Conan was nearly unmarkable at times last round. So that must give you huge confidence as well to have so many good players in good form.
Yeah, the likes of Dave Conan. Dave Conan would be an under-21 winner with Galway 8-9 years ago. Very accomplished footballer, no matter in defence or in attack. Eamon Brannigan had a long run with Galway seniors. Is travelling back and over from England. He's working in England at the moment, so it takes a bit out when you're travelling every weekend, because he was hurling as well with Rahun. You mentioned Stephen Kerr, Shane Maloney. They're all dual players. So it's every week for those guys, but it's nearly good for them, really, because they change the mindset and they don't have to think about training too much. They're going from game to game, which is great.
And another player there as well, I believe he made a return last week, Damien Connington as well, caught the eye, and you have a number of other players knocking on yourself and Mike's door, no doubt.
Yeah. Damien is in Dublin, has worked in Dublin all year and wasn't available earlier on the year. Has picked up a niggle maybe 3 weeks ago, but he performed excellently last Saturday, and a huge help to the panel.
It seems to be a common theme there as well. I suppose it speaks about the spirit that you have in the club and the team and the surrounding parts, that players are making big commitments to come back and travel from the other side of the country, even in Eamon's case from abroad as well. That's the collective force that you will need to try and get over the line here on Saturday.
Well, it's panels really nowadays that that get you over the line. If you don't have 23, 24 people that you can trust to put out on a day, whether they're in defence or in attack, you're going to be showing up, because as you said, with niggles, and they may only be small and they may only last for a day or a couple of days, but in the day of a match, if you haven't someone to replace them, you're in trouble.
2:30 is the place to be in Tuam Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Can you look forward to this last couple of days? The excitement, nerves, or a combination of all of the above?
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to it. Like at the beginning of the year, if you were to say where do you want to be, we want to be in Tuam at 2:30. Win, lose or draw, you need the break. You need a bit of luck. Everyone does. Any team that wins anything gets the bounce of a ball, gets a referee call, maybe gets the conditions, maybe gets the wind at the right time of a game. So that all those things are vital, and we'd hope that those freaks don't happen to us or to Caltra either on Saturday, and that the best team wins.
Well, the very best to look to it, John, I have to say, as a neutral, it's a game I can't wait for. I'm really looking forward to it. As you said, 2:30 on Saturday is the place to be, and the very best of luck.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Take care.
QFinancial.ie got the price and advice for me.
Pension auto-enrolment will soon be introduced. This means that all full-time workers over the age of 23 earning more than €20,000 per year must contribute to a pension, and employers must contribute. What are those pension entitlements, and is there independent advice available? The Q Financial Pension Team are experienced in advising both employees and employers of the positive and affordable options available for your situation. Call 091 421 900 or log on to qfinancial.ie.
Q Financial, qfinancial.ie.
Based in Clare, Galway, OMA Financial Services Limited, trading as qfinancial.ie, is an authorised independent pension intermediary regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
We redefine your relationship with energy, save you money, and get you on the path to a cleaner, greener future. JFW Renewables, your nationwide solar energy specialists. Call us today for a greener tomorrow.
Every single ticket that's sold, 5% of proceeds from that ticket is going to Jigsaw to help us provide free therapy for young people aged 12 to 25 across Galway City and County who are experiencing difficulty with their mental health.
And Caltra, and a perfect condition set here for what should be a terrific encounter. Before the team news, our own Navian.
Leg
Always a terrific atmosphere when it comes to Intermediate Football Championship final day in Tuam Stadium. And today is no different. It's the clash of the city and the county, St Michael's and Caltra. And we really are looking forward to this game. Let's have a look through both teams to see the different changes. We're going to start with St Michael's, whose top scorer Gary Higgins at number 13 is going to be looked to for a lot of big scores today. Team captain Dave Conan in the middle of the field has been in inspirational form throughout. And David Hurley starts with number 31 on his back in that full forward line, hoping also to bring some extra scores. Interestingly, number 5, Fionn Cruz, is a brother of Fiacre Cruz, who plays in the Mayo Intermediate County Final today as well. For Caltra, well, their top scorer Alan Naughton at number 13 has been in brilliant form. Mikey Mulryan at centre forward has been replaced by Owen Naughton, but Rob Kelly, Ono Kelly, the team captain, will be the big midfield pairing. We're ready for the off. Ger Lohan from Annadown is the match referee. A place in the senior ranks up for grabs as the ball is thrown in and we're underway. Over it goes the heads of all 4 midfielders, and straight away it's Caltra there looking to pick up the pieces with Owen Naughton. But the ball has been turned over brilliantly by St Michael's in the centre of the field, and a couple of quick changes of hands to the aforementioned Fionn Cruz, and it is the City men who can get off with the opening attack. Dave Conan plays it out towards Owen Kern. Back infield through Frank Daly. The evergreen Frank, who's been pretty much an ever-present for St Michael's since as long as one can remember, going back to their intermediate championship winning days of 2008. A year that took them all the way to the intermediate club final in Croke Park, where they lost to their namesakes, St Michael's from Foylmore in Kerry. But since then, St Michael's really have bedded in as a solid senior team in Galway, getting to a senior county final in the interim as well. But after somewhat surprisingly being relegated last year from the intermediate ranks, St Michael's are now just 60 minutes away from getting straight back up at the first attempt. For Caltra, since the heady days of 20 years ago when they were winning the senior championship en route to winning the All-Ireland Senior Club title, they've found themselves back down in intermediate for the last couple of seasons. I know that they come into today as underdogs, but are very much on the up with this young team, having won all 5 of their matches to date to get to this point. St Michael's looking to try and get the opening score of the game. There's a push in the back against Robert Kelly, and that is going to be a free in. Man penalised, and there was the Caltra midfielder, and a bit of a giveaway free, and an opportunity for Gary Higgins to get St Michael's off the mark with the opening score of the game. But disappointing free to concede. A push on Dave Conan, who's playing in a very advanced role, the tall, rangy former Galway man. He's operating right at the edge of the square as we speak. Let's watch this free from Gary Higgins, left-footed, as he strikes it beautifully up and over the bar for his 31st point of the championship campaign. A perfect time to bring in my co-commentator, Diarmuid Blake, the former Galway and Milltown midfielder. Diarmuid, a good start for St Michael's, but this game already has taken on a very interesting tactical look about it as well. Dave Conan seems to be operating more in that full forward line rather than midfield.
Yeah, David has played the whole year really at full forward. Even though he wears number 9, he drifts into full forward, and Alan Brannigan goes out to number 11. So they're playing aerial ball. But interesting enough, number 9 for Caltra, Robert Kelly, is man marking him in there. I wonder, will he stay in there for the whole game, or is he just follow him in from the throw in?
I'd say we'll watch a lot of movement with that pairing. As Caltra now with their first possession, try and get the forward. A little bit of a high loopy one from Kennedy Ryan, but it's broken out by St Michael's. Great battling by Rob Kelly trying to win it back, but St Michael's have plenty of numbers there. That should be a high tackle, and it is. A foul on Owen Curran, as the free is taken quickly by Ethan Fiorentini. He's had a terrific championship campaign as well. Off to Owen Curran, and he can slow things down and bring Cathal Maher into the game as well. Frank Daly to Maher, quick ball through the line. Dave Hurley, good slick interplay from St Michael's. And surely having so many years experience in senior football, Diarmuid, and playing in a high division like Division 1 of the Galway Senior Football, will stand to St. Michael's on an occasion like this.
Yeah, you would think so, but on the other side, a young team that has no pressure on them can go and have a shot at it like Caltra. I do feel that Caltra probably need an early start more so than St. Michael's.
Here's one dropped in around the house, dangerous ball. Goalkeeper fly kicks it away. That could have gone anywhere. All credit to Stephen Daly. He would have seen it late.
Yeah, there's the tactic in the semi-final. I saw Caltra, and even in the quarter-final with Sean Kane at full forward. He was really good under the high ball. He just got a slight flick to that, and it was a brilliant save by Stephen Daly. But that won't be the first high ball that'll go into that guy today.
Alan Nocton with the initial effort from about 35 yards out that was never going to carry all the way to the post, but the keeper had to watch in case. Right in front of him, Sean Kane got a touch on it. He's already scored 3-5 in this year's championship and is a big unit right at the edge of the square for Caltra, but nothing came of it. And now it's St. Michael's up the other end coming forward. Conan, is he fouled? Referee says he is. A second free in and a second opportunity for Gary Higgins to drift over, albeit on the wrong side, but left-footed. This is a gilt-edged opportunity, even if it is on the wrong side, for a prolific free taker like Gary Higgins to get his second point, and not what the doctor ordered from Caltra's perspective.
Yeah, Dave Conan, although he's quite tall, he is very fast on his feet. He's deceivingly fast. So he's playing inside in the full forward line, and although the aerial ball is probably what he wants, he doesn't mind the ball in front as well, and he can take on his man. So he's very dangerous inside.
Well, Gary Higgins, there's a reason why he's kicked 32 points in the championship. He doesn't miss too many. And I think if Caltra have learnt anything from the opening few minutes of this game, they can't really afford to concede frees.
Absolutely, and Gary was on the wrong side for him there, way out. First kick in a county final, and he slotted it over beautifully. So, a real top quality player, and I would presume that won't be the last point he'll get today.
Let's watch this kick out then from Odrin Lockbury. Oren kicks it out to the right hand side where it's won by Oisin Butler, driving through. Butler off the right, he's still going. He's thinking about going all the way. Butler might have to fly kick this one. Back across it comes. Here's a chance, an opportunity for Kane. He blazes it out to the left hand side and wide and looks to the heavens. It was a run from Oisin Butler that just kept on going and going, and his cutback was perfect.
Yeah, what a run from Oisin Butler. He left 3 St. Michael's out for dead and kept going, and he just pulled the ball back to Sean Kane, and he probably had too much time. He didn't pull the trigger first. He waited and he let the ball drop and half drop kicked it. I wonder, was it fair wide? It looked really close from here, but very dangerous inside Caltra when they run at the defence of St. Michael's.
There's a clash in the middle of the field. Referee might be inclined to pull out the yellow card here for Robert Kelly. Just to remind you that Caltra have made a couple of changes from the starting team. So Craig Nocton, number 10, and number 11, Mikey Mulryan, they're kept in reserve. And starting, wearing number 23 for Caltra, is Robbie Green. Trying to read my own handwriting here. Number 20 is Owen Nocton. And in at full forward, we've told you already, number 22, Sean Kane, starts in place of Keelan Murray. But that was a big chance. One wonders how many of those Caltra can afford to miss.
Yeah, they're 2 points down. They could have done with at least a score there. But just on Nocton against Glenabatty last weekend, he came on and had a real impact in the game. So just watch out for him. He was very effective. So both teams probably have players on reserve that they're going to hold as well. But it is a really good battle. Just for a Caltra perspective, they'd be hoping they could get a couple of scores on the board, because the longer it drags on without you score with a young team, the confidence will be drained out of them.
We've only had 2 points in the game. Both have gone to St. Michael's, both frees by Gary Higgins. As again, Dave Conan is fouled and pulled to the ground. He really has been in the wars in the opening majors. There's no doubt Caltra have targeted Conan as the main man.
Yeah, but he has a huge influence so far. He's got 2 frees and he's got a kickable one there as well. So he's difficult to handle because he's so tall and he's able to move.
He's on the ball as well. Let's see, will he try and score? Conan, no, decides to pop it out to the left towards Gary Higgins. Higgins around the corner, St. Michael's looping it, looking, has got an advantage coming here. They might have a second one coming, they do. Although the referee has blown it back for the initial foul on Brian Madden. This will be another chance for Gary Higgins. It's just a little bit too much pace, too much power early on for St. Michael's. This one is going to be left to Frank Daly to take. So after Gary Higgins getting one from pretty similar position, one wonders why they wouldn't have left it to the Kitog. But Frank Daly fancies this one between the 13 and 20 metre line. right-footed, strikes it up, and he's pulled it out to the right-hand side and wide. Strange one, not to leave Gary Higgins on it.
Yeah, you would wonder, Gary Higgins, although it was out of his range, but he's practicing his kicks all the time. He's a free taker. He would fancy his chances to slot that over. Frank isn't a natural free taker, and it was probably on his side, but he didn't really look confident ever when he hit it.
Caltra in trouble here though from the kick out. It's been broken down kindly for Gary Higgins. He's soloing through, looking to pop the pass on the right hand side. Should be a punch point. Up it goes off the crossbar and in play. The keeper had to kind of second guess and see was it still in play, but Oran Lockery eventually goes out, gets the ball close to the corner flag, goes to ground, needs to get rid of it. St. Michael's are on him, it's a free in. The keeper is over carried, and there was that hesitation from Lockery after the punch point effort from Eamon Brannigan. Hit the top of the crossbar and came back into play, and it was almost like as if he was waiting to see was it going to be flagged wide or a point, but it was obviously still in play.
Yeah, he was slightly unlucky though. Often referees would give a free out in that scenario, but St. Michael's have gone short, so it hasn't been a point yet.
No, it was right underneath the scoreboard, so in fairness to Oran, he knew and he did the right thing. If you're going to get the ball into your hands, make sure you get it out the field. Here's an effort from St. Michael's that's just got a touch, and it's gone out for a 45, says the referee. Just left of the uprights, but a lot of pressure coming from St. Michael's. 2 points to no score. You have to think with coming up on 10 minutes almost gone that they would be anxious to try and add 1 or 2 more while they're having this purple patch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose if you were the St. Michael's management, you'd be hoping that you'd be winning frees in around the D area, because with a free taker like Gary Higgins, he's well able to slot them. But if you're the Caltra management, you'd be saying don't foul, let them shoot outside the D, and if they kick it, fair enough. But this is a off the ground kick now from Gary. Let's see what he's like with them from the ground.
45 just left of centre. Gary's left footed. Let's see, can he get the range from the deck? He's kicked 2 off the hands. This would make it 3-0 as he strikes it well. Plenty of distance. Has he got the curl? He certainly has. It's a beauty. Oh, he's a fine striker of a ball.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful strike. It never looked like it was going to veer off wide, but it's 3-0 now. You'd be slightly worried for Caltra. They need a score to set themselves down.
Yeah, you see the clock is ticking on all the time, and already we're gone just past 11 and a half minutes. So Caltra will look to try and get their first score. They did have that goal chance, remember. That was blazed wide. And on this occasion they come forward. It should be their first score. The ball is driven up and over the bar by Owen O'Kelly. Their midfielder took the pass beautifully from Owen Nocton. And Caltra have answered the call. 3 points to 1 St. Michael's lead, but you can hear the roar of the Caltra crowd.
Yeah, there's a huge crowd from Caltra. They're just waiting to get behind their team. So that's a brilliant score from them. Settle them down, settle the nerves.
St. Michael's quickly underway with the kick out. They're trying to answer that back straight away. Through the hands it goes. Shane Maloney on the ball. Up to Owen Kern, in turn to Dave Cunahan. He's fouled. Really is a problematic player for Caltra to deal with. He's just so tall and rangy and athletic. And for Caltra, well, they'll be looking to try and keep the ball away from him if nothing else. Ethan Fiorentini now coming for a run forward. Beautiful balanced player. Off to Conal Gallagher. Conal looking inside, not a lot of options, so he's got to go backwards to Ethan. Fiorentini looks up, little jink from Fionn Cruz. We mentioned his brother lining out for Moy Davitz against Crossmolina in the Mayo Intermediate final this evening in Castlebar at 6 o'clock. An unusual statistic, that one. Here's a snapshot that's gone up and over the bar. Well, everybody stopped and looked. It's an absolutely brilliant point from Brannigan. And you'd have to say he had hardly room to swing a boot. But what a score that is from Eamon Brannigan, 4-1.
Yeah, fantastic score. It was probably out of his range. All the Caltra backs were kind of stepping off and saying, if you score from there, fair play to you. And he just took it on and slotted it over the bar. But the minute he left his boot, by looking at him, it went straight over the bar.
And there's a poor kick out from Caltra. It's gone straight to the waiting arms of Ethan Fiorentini, and they come again. Fiorentini looks up, he's got a bit of a gap in over, he slots it in, looking for Damien Connaughton, grabs it, he's got a man on the overlap. The hand pass mightn't have been the greatest, but it's worked out for Dave Hurley. Hurley gets it back to Frank Daly, pops it back out to Gary Higgins. Higgins has to swivel, and the danger is gone for the time being as Caltra scramble their defence, and Ethan Fiorentini will start the move again from out on the 45. But St. Michael's haven't been rattled by that fabulous score from Ono Kelly that got Caltra off the mark, and it leaves us now with 14 minutes gone. St. Michael's leading by 4 points to 1. Opportunity now for Dave Conan again, looking up. Brannigan being very closely marked by Luke Burke. In the end, St. Michael's ran out of patience, tried a really difficult pass through. Caltra had bodies over, and now they go on the counter. 2 men up for Caltra, Alan Naughton and Sean Kane. But how can they transition? And when you look at it, the middle third, it's all St. Michael's at the moment. So I suppose Caltra do have to work on a little bit quicker getting out of the backs.
Yeah, and you would hope for Caltra that they need a link man. There's lads inside and everyone else is beside the 45. They could probably do with someone out on the 40 just to supply some ball into Sean Kane. There's too much of a distance between them.
St. Michael's just seem to have that little bit better shape at the moment. One man scurrying up the field is Stephen Kerr. Plays a little clever 1-2 with Damien Connaughton and looks to try and now go forward and take a return pass, and does. Go on, Stephen, is the shout from the St. Michael's supporters. He goes back to Owen Kern. Kern in turn just keeping possession for St. Michael's. They're being very, very patient. City side lead by 4 points to 1, and they know that they have taken early command in this intermediate county final. They will be favourites, no question, but still they know that Caltra will deserve respect, having won all their matches to date. Brannigan trying to work it around the corner, but it's all a bit too predictable, and Caltra are back there to win possession, win a free, and they'll be able to clear their lines and clear quickly. Now, is there a quick counter attack for Caltra? The ball struggled to come up for Caltra's Dara McCabe, who's gone down holding his knee, and he's in big trouble, and I think the referee really should stop the game here. Play on, as St. Michael's almost are stopping as well. Everybody's pointing, and I think that's the right thing to do. St. Michael's stopped playing, and all we can do now is hope that isn't what we think it is with Dara McCabe.
Yeah, you would be... that's definitely a serious knee injury. Whether he jarred it and he can play on, but I would doubt it, because the ball was behind him. He was reaching behind him, and there was, no one pushed him, and he just landed awkwardly on it and waved to the sideline straight away. Dara is a huge player for Caltra. I think he was their captain last year, and he's in ferocious pain out there. You just hope that it might be just a jar, but I would say there'd be a sub warming up very soon.
Yeah, we are going to have a pretty lengthy stoppage here, I suspect, in this intermediate final. Porrick Dandy Kelly is out there. He's calling for the stretcher as well. So I think this is, I suppose, everybody's nightmare, especially if you're a parent or a relation or somebody involved with a player that just innocuously twists their knee in the ground, and you can see that that's the end of it for Dara McCabe. His county final is over. So it's really, really disappointing, and I think it's the last thing that we needed in a county final, Jermith.
Yeah, absolutely. You just feel sorry for Dara. He's training with 2 or 3 years for this day, and for it to happen so early. And monotonous, there was nothing really in it. There was no collision or anything. It was just went up for a ball and come down awkwardly. So it's a difficult one, and he's a leader, being captain of Caltra last year, so he's obviously a leader in the group, and he'd be a big loss to them. But Caltra just can't let it faze them. But just interesting tactically in the game, Caltra seem to be struggling when the ball goes out to the middle with St. Michael's, with all the big bodies St. Michael's have. Dave Cannan and Conan Gallagher, they seem to be in control when the ball goes out long, so Caltra are kind of going short, and when it's the short one isn't on, they're struggling a bit for the high ball out the middle. Dave Conan is going from full forward to midfield. He's probably has the most possessions of anybody in the game so far. He's having a huge influence. What do Caltra do with Dave? Do they put someone man marking him all the time? Do you put your full back following him out the field when he goes out midfield, or do you let your midfielder follow him into full back as well? So there's a tough call to be made there, but he's having such an influence, you probably have to just try and nullify his effect, and because he's a huge player and a catalyst for everything good that St. Michael's do.
Well, there is an ambulance here, but for some reason it's just sitting outside the dressing room area at the moment and doesn't seem to be making its way onto the pitch. Whether it's able to drive onto the pitch or not, or whether we've had to go and try and find somebody to drive it, is the question. But maybe they're looking instead to try and just bring in a stretcher from the ambulance and then bring the stricken Caltra wing back from the pitch. But It really should have been done by now, as it's quite cold at ground level, Jim. And the last thing you want is a lad like that lying prostrate. Do you know what comes to my mind is Sean Mulcairn when he got injured playing Sigerson the year before last, and it was a freezing cold January night, and there was blankets and everything being brought out to try and keep the lad, and they had to wait for an ambulance to come from a nearby hospital to Belfield for that one. Now, thankfully, after an eternity, it seems that we're coming in with the manual stretcher. Quite why that was that delay, I don't know, but Dara should be able to be escorted from the pitch, and well, it's more than likely going to be a trip to A&E to get that knee bandaged, but he's up and sitting upright, which is good as well at this stage, Dermot, but I think he knows himself that his year is over.
Yeah, and you often find with cruciate injuries, you have ferocious pain for a couple of minutes before when you have the injury, and then the pain goes and you nearly think you can play on. And you often see players thinking they can come back on and going back on and knees buckling from under them and coming off again. So he seems like he's not in a lot of pain there. It's just more disappointment. Hopefully he's not in too much pain, but he's thankfully been lifted off the pitch now, and wish him the speedy recovery, and hopefully the Caltra can put in an extra effort for him going forward in this game.
Well, it's the most horrible sight in sport to see a young man who has given his all for 12 months to get to this point of a game, and suddenly Lady Luck deserts him in his hour of greatest need, and Caltra and St. Michael's somehow have to try and lift themselves for another go. Mikey Mulryan is in, probably a few minutes earlier than he would have anticipated. He was obviously going to come into this game at the start of the second half. Now he's in a bit earlier. Michaels will restart with possession, but all we can do is wish Darren McCabe the very best.
Yeah, wish him the very best, and all Mikey Mulryan can do now is go in and do the jersey justice. He came on last week as well and had a huge influence in the game, so I'm sure the Caltra guys will be hoping to do the same today.
Right, let's reset. 4 points to 1. St. Michael's lead Caltra. The stopwatch has gone on to 21 minutes, but I think you can knock 4 off that, and we'll have a lengthy period of injury time at the end of this. So this is certainly a first half that's going to run to 35 or 36 minutes. St. Michael's out on the left hand flank are coming through, and here's an opportunity for them to maybe get the lead score. A shot across the face of the goal from Owen Kern, who went for goal. Had an easy chance to tap the ball over the bar, but he smelled a goal that could well have put Michael's at this early stage almost out of sight.
Yeah, St. Michael's are very comfortable with the running game. They seem to create overlaps very easily, and they're all very good in the ball. Owen Kern, probably the smart thing to do is to fist it over the bar, but if he got a goal at that stage, you'd nearly say game over, so it was probably worth going for, but got nothing out of it.
Frank Daly picks up the pieces, and the wave of St. Michael's attack after attack continues. And the side who are marked out as warm favourites to win the Intermediate Championship are living up to that billing. In it goes to the unstoppable Dave Conan. He's in on goal. Is he fouled? He is, surely. No. Referee says play on. Frank Daly has his side-footed effort blocked, but a beautiful chip up by Dave Hurley, and St. Michael's maintain possession underneath the scoreboard in a darkening Tuam Stadium. Frank Daly, clever little flick pass when it looked like he was being shunted out over the line, but back to Dave Conan. That was borderline stuff from Caltra at the edge of the square.
Yeah, if he had went down, it was probably a penalty. He thought I'd say he could ride the tackle, but he's so influential, he's so strong. You know, I don't think there's anyone on the Caltra team physically as strong as him, so I don't know, would you put someone in front of him, but he's having such a huge influence. St. Michael's look for him every single time they come forward.
Michael's come again. Little offload from Brian Madden. Pops the pass. Nice work from Damien Connaughton, but just took a bit too much out of it in the end. Caltra have turned it over free, and I'm sure the North Galway men will be just anxious to get another score on the board. They had had to withstand a lightning quick start from Glenamaddy in the semi-final before they took control of that game, especially late on. So Caltra have shown great maturity in the championships to date, but there's no doubt this is the mother of all tests for them in terms of trying to win that elusive spot in the senior championship, and that's to beat a team who were senior less than a year ago. Caltra come forward though now, looking for more. from Owen Naughton. Through the centre, gives it off towards Alan. Alan Naughton in turn, little flick pass out, trying to dance his way through a couple of tackles. Mike Mulryan back to Rob Kelly. Through the hands it goes to Oisin Butler. Oisin thinking about lining up a shot. You see hit late, he is. Didn't seem to be a lot in it. The St. Michael's defenders seem to think that was a reasonable challenge from Conal Gallagher, but the upper body strength isn't enough. Referee indicating the shoulder wasn't quite shoulder to shoulder. It was into the side, and so a free to Caltra. And Alan Naughton is the man to line this one up. Tough kick though, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's a tough one for your first kick in a county final. This is a real tough one now. It's not favouring it, but hopefully he gets a good strike in it.
Let's watch this free then from Naughton. Gets good contact. Has he got enough on it? It's in around the house and it's broken out. Didn't quite have the purchase. Now St. Michael's come away with it. Ball broken, centre of the field, picked up nicely by Mikey Mulryan. And now outside of the right, Mikey going again. A little bit of a purple patch for Caltra. In it goes. What a beautiful take that is from Alan Naughton. Off the left, sprays it across, trying to get it through to the inside line to Sean Kane. A few calls of a little bit of pulling on the full forward, but the ball had clearly gone over him, so there was never going to be any free coming from that. But couple of opportunities there for Caltra.
Yeah, they probably need them. You know, they've only got one score. Alan Naughton, I was sure that ball was over the bar. It looked like it was going over and just hung short. But they've had a few opportunities and they just haven't converted it. You know, you'd be hoping that they'd run at St. Michael's a bit more, because when they do, they get a bit of reward from it. The lateral play doesn't really suit them as much.
Mo Giroux for Caltra, says Jeremy Blake, but St. Michael's now have battened down the hatches again, and they're coming forward now with Ethan Fiorentini on the right hand side, taking that possession from Brian Madden and throws it back. The fullback, toe to hand, he's just going to take his time and spray a clever little ball across the line to Fionn Cruz. Oh, lovely little dummy hand pass, and off he goes like a rugby move there. Cruz decides to go left out towards the go-to man, Dave Canaan. Into the corner it goes to Owen Kern, and back out it comes again. Dave Hurley offering himself up. Oh, let that one a bit high in the air, but got it over the head of Oisin Butler, wins the free. A little bit lucky there, St. Michael's, to hold on to it, but they're not afraid to play that arc that we see most teams operating in now, and eventually hope that there's a gap somewhere in the middle that they can break their way through. Over on the left hand side, Owen Kern gets it across again towards Conan, curls it around. Oh, it's a beauty. It's an absolute classic score. He's done all the damage and now he's gone on the scoreboard as well. Dave Conan makes it 5 points to 1.
Yeah, Caltra lads just kind of stood off him and you know, gave him that little pocket of space to shoot. You know, if they were just a small bit tighter, he wouldn't have taken that shot on. But you know, he is the most influential player on the pitch. Caltra are going to have to do something with him. You probably have to sit a man in front of him and double up on him, sacrifice someone else, because if he's not stopped, St. Michael's will win this pretty easily.
There's a little pullback by Eamon Brannigan on Robbie Green, but referee thinks maybe there's a bit more in it than just a talking to. So Green hits the deck and Brannigan gets the yellow. Seems harsh enough. I don't think there was that much in it, but it was nonetheless not to the liking of our match referee, Ger Lohan from Annadown, as Caltra get on with it. Sprayed from left to right as Tommy Morrissey decides to use Luke Burke. Burke has got Mark Kelly jinking around. He's a couple of options to his left. Reen Henley Ryan is one. Also here in close proximity is Robbie Green. Decides to go for an up and under to the big man. Sean Kane gets a hand on it, but just can't quite do enough. St. Michael's have bodies back there. I think they've done their homework. They know what was coming. And it's, I don't care how big you are, it's almost impossible when you have two men, one in front, one behind, to try and win a meaningful ball.
Yes, and particularly when it's a slow ball, but St. Michael's have a chance here.
Long ball out of their half-back line. In it goes towards Stephen Kerr. Kerr goes to ground. Is he fouled? He is. Not a million miles away again off the edge of the square, but just way too many difficulties being caused by St. Michael's around the pitch, and how quickly they can transition from defence into attack. A long ball over the top, and what pace from Stephen Kerr.
Yeah, absolutely. A brilliant counter-attacking style football from St. Michael's. But on the other side, I think the ball into Sean Kane, it's a bit too slow coming in. St. Michael's are set up and they've a man sitting in front of them. If Sean is to do well in the high ball, it'll probably need to come in a bit earlier. But very impressive by St. Michael's how they counter-attacked. A lot of their play has gone down that far right wing under the stand, and Caltra look vulnerable down that side.
6 minutes to be added on, so we kind of figured that would be the case. Those 6 minutes will start in 30 seconds, so still a bit of football left in this first half, but 6 is the magic number because that's the number of points that St. Michael's have on the board. Caltra only have 1. It's been a disappointing opening half for Caltra. I know they're underdogs, but they just haven't really created a whole pile. Yeah,
they look like they're playing slightly with fear. They're not really going at St. Michael's. They're playing it laterally around their backline when they have it, and they're at their best when they're going at players, going by them and creating that overlap. So you'd hope for their sake that they start running at them and getting by that first blanket of defence.
Well, it's a big learning curve for Caltra as well. It's one thing getting through to an intermediate county final, but it's another thing winning it, as they like to try and drift the ball into Mikey Mulrine on the edge of the 45. Mulrine has got a runner outside him, didn't look up, still might go for this one himself off the right. Mulrine ambitious, but to the left hand side, free was coming. He knew he was on an advantage, so clever work from Mikey Mulrine. That was a free pot shot, and he'll come back for exactly the exact same shot, which he will leave this time to Alan Naughton. Now this is borderline, I think, for Alan, given the free he took the last time, Jeremy, from a similar position. I think 40 metres is about his range. This is probably hitting about 37. So if it does go over, it'll be just about dropping over, but this will test him. Let's see, on a side that probably suits a left footer a bit better, on the right hand side, he might get a little bit more purchase on the curl and strikes this one much better. That's a far more decent strike, and this time Alan Naughton has no problem getting the distance, coming in from that angle, and a score that Caltra badly needed, 6 points to 2. We're in injury time, Jeremy, and I would say to you that Caltra, at the very least, need to keep the gap to 4 points. If it gets any worse, it'll be hard to see them come back in the second half.
Yeah, you would think so, but you never know if they stay in the game. 4 points is a pretty big lead, but interesting enough there, St. Michael's, they didn't have many kickouts, but they went to Dave Conan as well for their kickouts, so he's so influential. They're hitting him for the kickouts, and he's still the guy up front. So, Caltra at half-time will have to try and think up some way of nullifying his effect here.
Well, they have won a ball back, courtesy of Luke Burke, and they'll get an opportunity now to play their way out from the back. Shane Lockery plays it back towards Tommy Morrissey. Looks to get a return pass off Luke Burke. Lockery really operating very deep, but there's nobody in there at all other than Sean Kane. So Caltra really have got to start thinking about pushing more players in around the square if they are going to utilise the target man. It's with Robbie Green, in turn to Rian Henley-Ryan. Back it goes to Alan Naughton. A lot of passing from Caltra, but not quite cutting through. Rian Henley-Ryan goes back again towards Alan Naughton, but it's all been very well controlled and marshalled by St. Michael's. Let's see, can Caltra get an in product here? Ball is chipped back out the field. Lovely ball off the left, bounced in around the house, but half block on Sean Kane's shot. Too easy for Dave Hurley to pick up, and now St. Michael's can come out from the back. Wonderful storming run from Fionn Cruz. Plays it into the centre. Lovely little pop pass. Return to Conal Gallagher. He's got Conan outside him. Conan being pulled and dragged over there by Mikey Mulrine. Referee says play on. Conan goes backwards to Damien Connaughton. He's got a runner in Fiorentini coming up from the back. Ethan Fiorentini goes to ground, pops it off. Opportunity now for Gallagher. Lovely curling ball high up and over the bar. It's an absolute beauty from Conal Gallagher. And in that 30 seconds, I think we saw everything we needed to see about the difference between the two teams.
Yeah, probably the more experienced players on the St. Michael's team. There's a Caltra gone down there off the ball. I don't think Jerry Daly saw it. linesman. But St. Michael's, they're very experienced. Caltra, on the other hand, have had opportunities but just haven't got a score out of them. And that's a 2-point swing, that game. So it's now 7-2, 5 points in it going into half time. It's a big lead.
Certainly is, when you consider the attacking opportunity that Caltra had. For it to come to naught and for it to end in a score the other end is a real kick in the teeth for the North Galway side. But St. Michael's in well control of this. Here's a pot shot from distance from Shane Lockery, dropped in around the house. It's caught by the big man at the edge of the square. Back it goes. Here's a chance for Caltra. Oh, blocked down, brilliant last ditch defending, wonderful work in there. And in the end, the block from Shane Maloney was a saver. Oh, great catch inside by Sean Kane, but even then St. Michael's are now being penalised for over-carrying. A bit harsh on Damien Connaughton, one would have thought. Caltra very excited by that decision, but you'd have to say a wonderful block. Let's go back to Shane Maloney, full length, great defending.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant block, and defended by St. Michael's by a couple of them, but great catch for Sean Kane. They have that threat when they have a big guy gone there. If they give him enough a ball and give him an opportunity, he's the guy coming out taking this free now on the 45 with his left foot on the wrong side. So I think he fancies this. Once the free went in, he waved out that he was coming out to take it. So big free for Caltra here.
This would pull it back to 4 points at half time. 7-2. He's going for one of these kind of goalkeeper type of slots with the outside of the left. He's got great purchase on it. It's up, it's over the bar. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Sean Kane doesn't lack in confidence, that's for sure. His hand is up all day kicking into me. He's a very, very confident young man, and he backs his own ability. We've got 25 seconds still to go, so there will be one more play. But what a big score that is, 7-3.
Yeah, and you can just hear the crowd every time Sean Kane touches the ball. He's a bit of a favourite with the crowd, but a top quality player and a brilliant free there. Exactly what Caltra needed.
Well, St. Michael's are going cracked that there wasn't a free given for a foul on Conal Gallagher. Now it's in the top of the square. Here's Nocton. A goal for Caltra with the last play of the half. St. Michael's cannot believe that they didn't get a free for Conal Gallagher, but the Route 1 tactic has worked a treat for Caltra. Long ball into Sean Kane, broken down, and who else but that man Alan Nocton with the last kick of the half. St. Michael's are utterly distraught with conceding 1-1 in 30 seconds. Pádraig Kelly is telling St. Michael's that they're not to go into the dressing room until after St. Michael's. That was the agreement beforehand, until Caltra go in first. And this game has come alive in the 6th minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Wow.
Wow, that is unbelievable. You could hear the crowd down in front of us here. Every single Caltra fan shouting the house down. What an inspiration from Sean Kane there with a flick on, and it fell to the right person, Alan Nocton, who slotted home. Fantastic goal, 1-3-7. Who would have thought it? The game was nearly gone from Caltra, and now they're right back in it. The way they sprinted in at half time there, they are absolutely buzzing in that dressing room at half time. So it won't take much to get them riled up in the second half.
How is there only 1 point between the sides in this intermediate final? It's the beauty of it. Caltra out of this game for about 34 minutes, and suddenly from nowhere they get 1-1, and everybody is agog and a buzz at what might lie in store in the second half. A goal of the highest order from Alan Nocton. What a finish from an old-fashioned up and under into Sean Kane. Touchdown to the in-rushing attacker. Didn't he read the break so well and finish it with the plum into the roof of the net?
Yeah, I would say that has been a schoolboy move from all them lies over the years. Big high ball in, everyone knew it was coming, and Sean just flicked it down. He didn't catch it, he just flicked it down to him, and Alan read it. But what a finish though. He still had a lot to do to finish that goal, but inspiration and stuff. The whole crowd is reeling there at half time. Can't wait for the second half to start again now.
Well, St. Michael's feel real hard done by. I suppose the fact is it's happened at the end of the first half and not the second half, and St. Michael's are still leading, and deservedly so, Jeremy, but I'm sure they're wondering how they're only one up.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, when Caltra sit down and the manager sit down, Dave Connan is having such a huge impact. How can they nullify him, even quieten him? He's obviously going to have an influence in the game, but how can they quieten him? But on the other side, for Caltra, or for St. Michael's, Caltra's long ball is causing trouble. When the ball goes in, 3 or 4 long balls have gone in, Sean Kane has caught 2 of them and nearly had goal opportunities. Only for great defender versus St. Michael's, they'd probably have another goal. So if you were the Caltra manager, would you be saying let that ball go early into Sean and let Alan play off him?
Well, it's a thoroughly entertaining intermediate football final, and I'm glad everybody else is tuned in and listening in as well, including the Davins tuned in over there in Lanzarote. Well, it's certainly not Lanzarote here in Tuam, but I've had worse days here. Last Sunday for the senior final was horrific weather-wise. Today it's very dry. It is a bit chilly, but we are really entertained by this intermediate final, and there is a buzz going through the audience as to what might lie in store for the second half. We'll be back for that second half live here from Tuam Stadium, but at half time there is only the bare minimum between the sides in the Galway Intermediate Championship final. St. Michael's 7 points, Caltra 1-3. Do not miss the second half.
QFinancial.ie got the price and it buys for me.
Pension auto-enrolment will soon be introduced. This means that all full-time workers over the age of 23 earning more than €20,000 per year must contribute to a pension, and employers must contribute. What are those pension entitlements, and is there independent advice available? The Q Financial Pension Team are experienced in advising both employees and employers of the positive and affordable options available for your situation. Call 091 421 900 or log on to qfinancial.ie.
Q Financial, qfinancial.ie.
Based in Clare, Galway, OMA Financial Services Limited, trading as qfinancial.ie, is an authorised independent pension intermediary regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
We redefine your relationship with energy, save you money, and get you on the path to a cleaner, greener future. JFW Renewables, your nationwide solar energy specialists. Call us today for a greener tomorrow.
Every single ticket that's sold, 5% of proceeds from that ticket is going to Jigsaw to help us provide free therapy for young people aged 12 to 25 across Galway City and County who are experiencing difficulty with their mental health.
This free from Gary Higgins, left-footed, as he strikes it beautifully up the line.
And although the aerial ball is probably what he wants, he doesn't mind the ball in front as well, and he can take on his man, so he's very dangerous inside.
3-0 as he strikes it well, plenty of distance. Has he got the curl? He certainly has. It's a beauty. Oh, he's a fine striker of the ball.
Yeah.
That goal chance, remember, that was blazed wide, and on this occasion they come forward. It should be their first score. The ball is driven up and over the bar. An unusual statistic, that one. Here's a snapshot that's gone up and over the bar. Well, everybody stopped and looked. Over on the left-hand side, Owen Kern gets it across again towards Conan, curls it around. Oh, it's a beauty. It's an absolute
man sitting in front of him. If Sean is to do well in the high ball, it'll probably need to come in a bit earlier, but what very impressive by
get a little bit more purchase on the curl and strikes this one much better. That's a far more decent strike. And this time Alan knocked it. Ethan Fiorentini goes to ground, pops it off. Opportunity now for Gallagher. Lovely curling ball, high, up and over the bar. It's an absolute beauty. 7-2. He's going for one of these kind of goalkeeper type of slots with the outside of the left. He's got great purchase on it. It's up, it's over the bar. Well, I'll tell you what.
A top quality player and a brilliant free there. Exactly what Caltra needed.
Well, St. Michael's are going cracked that there wasn't a free given for a foul on Conal Gallagher. Now it's in the top days of the square. Here's knocked it. A goal for Caltra with the last play of the half. St.
Thank you.
Welcome back for the second half of the Galway Intermediate Football Final. It's St. Michael's 7 points, Caltra 1-3, and a really exciting second half in store. Everybody getting back into their positions for the start of this second half. And Jim and Blake, a real buzz around the ground at the way that first half finished.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge Caltra support here, both young and old, in the stand here, and that really set the whole place on fire when the goal went in. But it'll be interesting to see who comes out now in the second half. Will Caltra carry on that momentum, or will St. Michael's have got the opportunity to settle it down and regroup and come out and put their stamp on it? Because it's there for the take, and you often find this is the championship quarter, the third quarter. So who will come out on top in this third quarter?
We're about to find out as our match referee, Ger Lohan, gets ready to throw the ball in for the start of the second half. Sean Kane has come out to be midfield for Caltra, tries to get a touch on it, but he's beaten to it by Dave Conan, who's pulled and dragged and surely fouled. Referee says no foul. Caltra pick up possession. Frank Daly goes in. Hands are going everywhere, and in the end referee says there's a throw ball and it's going to be a free to St. Michael's. So certainly a lot of physicality coming into the game just before half-time. It looks like that's continued.
Yeah, there's definitely a spark in this game. You wouldn't be surprised to see a few smozzles before this game is off, but a high-tempo game now started the second half here.
Ball spilling around in the middle of the field, which has been gathered there by Conal Gallagher. Into the corner it goes towards Owen Kern. Kern in a right-old wrestling match, and trying to get out of the danger zone there is Caltra's Mikey Mulryan, who clearly has made a difference. Referee's going to bring it up now, and there's no doubt the temperature of this county final has gone up several degrees just before the half-time break, and that's continued into the second half, as now Caltra start from their own goal line with Oren Lockery going for a solo up the field. He's up already to his own 65 and still going. Of course, we're used to seeing goalkeepers make plenty of jaunts up the field in recent times. Can Caltra get the next point and get level? Few would have foreseen that when they trailed in the first half by 5. Coming forward, looked like a pullback, no free. St. Michael's still battling away, but Caltra have overturned it. It's with Nocton. Allen off the left, chips it up and over the bar. Alan Nocton from absolutely nothing profits from a mistake in the Michael's defence, and they've got level at 1-4 to 7 points.
Yeah, you have to say fair play to Caltra there. They had lost the ball, but they didn't give up the gauntlet. They kept at it, got a turnover, and it just felt Alan Nocton on the run. A beautiful strike of a ball, but Caltra are buzzing, there's no doubt about it.
Well, Alan Nocton is the man for Caltra, no doubt about it. He's got all but one of their scores in this intermediate county final, including that goal before half-time, as Michael's now look to try and respond. Dave Conan coming forward. The solo was a little bit high. He manages to win the ball. A dodgy looking hand pass, but at the end the referee says it's going to be a free out for an illegal hand pass. The St. Michael's fans hadn't heard the whistle, so there was a bit of a delayed cheer. But yeah, I think the way he fell to the ground, I couldn't see how he could possibly have got rid of that ball without having just literally thrown it.
Yeah, unlucky though for St. Michael's, because they were looking like there's a couple of guys gone down off the ball here, so it is getting a bit niggly. There's no doubt about it. You wouldn't be surprised to see a red card or a yellow card. Play has stopped here now, and it is Frank Daly who has gone down, but I don't think the linesman has seen anything yet. So
well, James Malloy is indicating to the referee that he has. The St. Michael's lads are roaring at him, and James Malloy is having none of it. Of course, you're talking about a senior inter-county referee. He's not going to be bullied on the sideline or told what to do. But I think if there is anything untoward, James Malloy will have seen it and will be taking action. But Frank Daly is down. The referee seems to be having a chat with Robert Kelly at the moment, but there's no action going to be taken, so there'll be no cards. Frank Daly is up and at it again, and there's a lot of stuff going on. You can imagine from a refereeing perspective the next few minutes will be tough, and you'd nearly expect that Ger Lohan, if he feels this game is getting away from him, he might have to flash a red card in the next few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, I'm sure the Caltra management are quite happy. You know, they're a younger team and they're not being bullied by a big, stronger St. Michael's team. So they do have to...
There's a heavy hit. And the referee does not like that. It's a shoulder straight into the chest of Tommy Morrissey. And it's going to be Brian Madden who's going to be spoken to. And I did say that the referee is gauging all of these challenges, and the temperature of the game and the way things are going, don't be surprised with the colour of this card as the referee flashes yellow to Brian Madden. It'll be a free in, and incredibly a chance for Alan Naughton to put Caltra in front in a game that looked to be going away from them only 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's still a big free now here. It's kind of slightly against the breeze. You often find free takers struggle to kick scores in left footers from this position, even though you might think it's an easier free. But that was a big hit. I think Brian Madden is quite lucky there. You often seen red cards being shown for a challenge like that, particularly in the last few years, and when it comes to the head. But there's a big chance here for Alan Naughton now.
Let's watch how he gets on with this one. He's 35 yards out from goal to the right of the post, left footed, kicking it to the scoreboard in the Tuam Stadium. Gets a curl on it, out to the right hand side and wide. Just had to force it that little bit, and I think that does tell us that there is a breeze against Caltra, there's no doubt.
Yeah, it is a difficult one. Oh, there's short free.
Oh, there's a poor kick out, gone astray. Caltra have it straight back. Can they profit this time around at the end? Mikey Mulryan has kicked it against his own player, Alan Naughton, who ran across in front of his line. So I shouldn't be laughing. It's almost comical to see one of his own forwards stopping what would have been a great chance of a point.
Yeah, it's a pity because Mikey Ryan looked like he was struck that ball well, but Alan Naughton just ran across him and it hit off his foot.
Anyway, Michael's get away with that one. It was a kick out that Stephen Daly won't want to see replayed, but really action-packed topsy-turvy intermediate county football final is level. St Michael's 7 points, Caltra 1-4, and St Michael's are making a lot of unforced errors, and it really has got inside their heads. You get the feeling that they were cruising and almost felt this game was won when they were 7-2 up. Caltra got that point to make it 7-3 before half-time, and who'd have saw them get a goal then with the last play of the game. So from 5 points up to find themselves level, I think St Michael's are just lacking a little bit of composure right now. This is the period of the game where Caltra will feel they can profit as they drive forward from the back. O'Shea Butler having a run, still going. Referee says too many steps and a free out. Again, one of those decisions that could have gone either way, but it's a peculiar time of the game now, Jimmy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Mistakes from both sides.
Yeah, O'Shea Butler there, unbelievable pace when he gets running, but probably slightly unlucky there. I thought he was half fouled. But St Michael's, their favourites coming into the game. They've probably won every game pretty easily so far this year. So they're in a particular place that they may not be used to. So how do they react to it? We'll have to wait and see.
We're about to find out as they come looking for the lead score again. St Michael's with Eamon Brannigan. He's their go-to man. Lovely little pop pass. Oh, a lovely touch. Beautiful play from Gary Higgins. Gary's in on goal here on the left-hand side. Should be a point, and is. Gary Higgins slots it over the bar. Good work from Brannigan in a forest of players, but by golly, St Michael's are having to work 10 times as hard for a score now than they were in the first half. 1 goal and 4 points Caltra still have on the board, but now 8 points for St Michael's. They've edged their noses back in front.
Yeah, they needed that score. That may settle them down. Now they might put the heat on Caltra's kickouts here. They look like they have a full-on press man-on-man, so you would fancy St Michael's if the ball goes long.
St Michael's have twice won the Galway Intermediate Championship in the past. I mentioned 2008 when they went on to the All-Ireland Intermediate Club Final. Of course, their first title came back in 1985. That was the first time that they really made inroads into the senior championship, and in the late 80s St Michael's had a fabulous team and were certainly good value for their place in senior football, but they look for a quick return to the senior ranks today, having been relegated at the tail end of last year. They've got a free now in the middle of the field, taken quickly by Gary Higgins, and St Michael's come again. Interesting to see both left-footed number 13s are very similar. Gary Higgins goes for a monster point from out the field, and the reason he did is because he knows he's got a little bit of a breeze behind him, and he's launched that from outside the 45. Well, this time next year in an intermediate county final, that could be worth 2 points.
Yeah, absolutely. He came out, he knew his range. When the minute he got the ball, he had one thing on his mind, even though he was outside the 45. Brilliant strike, lovely strike of a ball, just dropped over the crossbar. Inspiration by him.
Yeah, he's starting to really come into this county final now. as St. Michael's drive on with Conal Gallagher. Bursts forward, foul, free in, and Higgins will be over like a flash to kick another one. And Gary Higgins, who I remember came into this game with 30 points. Gary Higgins has already tallied in this county final between the first half and the start of the second half, 5 points. So this will be a chance to get his 6th point and his 4th free, which is a fair return for a county final. There is a change coming for Caltra. They're taking off Robert Kelly. They're going to bring into the game Brendan McLaughlin. That's a straight swap at midfield. Disappointment for Rob Kelly. He'll join the rest of the Caltra subs up in the stand, and it'll be all eyes on Gary Higgins, and this would be a very quick fire triple header of points from Gary Higgins to put his side 3 up. Off the left, plenty of power. What a striker of a ball this guy is. 6 points for Gary Higgins. Not quite as good as the one a few minutes ago. He kicked from play from outside the 45, but that's a 40-yarder from a free. 3 points in 3 minutes. St. Michael's are back in comfortable zone again. 10 points to 1-4.
Yeah, if St. Michael's win this game, Gary will have a huge, would be the catalyst to an awful lot of what they've done right, particularly in the second half. He's dragged them single-handedly back into the game, and now they're in the driving force again. It's 3 points in it. Caltra need to respond though.
And they've done the first part. They've cut the kick out, got a mark, and now they come forward with Mikey Mulryan. Far side towards Tommy Morrissey. He's had a good game. Tommy, who of course landed the ball in for the goal at the end of the first half. Chips it across towards Robbie Green, who's just clipped. Hands out from Damien Connaughton. Wondering, what did I do? Free to Caltra. We're just happy to maybe take the sting out of St. Michael's recent period of dominance, but of course that can have a two-way effect. It can also slow down their options up front. And right now, as we've seen in Gaelic football in recent years, we have St. Michael's with everybody back inside their own half. In fact, most of their players are inside their own 45. Here's an up and under, a long ball in around the edge of the square. Let's see how this one works out. But 3 Michael's players back there on Sean Kane. The numbers don't add up for Caltra, and Michael's come away with it. And it's almost like we've gone back in time to halfway through the first half. Now here's a long ball over the top for St. Michael's. Will the bounce favour Brannigan? It won't. It just bounced up. In fact, the surface is so good here in Tuam Stadium. It was a similar bounce that caused trouble for Darren McCabe in the first half when the ball bounced up and he overran it. On that occasion, had the ground been soft, it would have just kind of flattened in front of Brannigan. He was in on goal, but that one didn't quite work out for St. Michael's, and Caltra can counter-attack. Chance now for Mikey Mulryan. We'll bring in Dermot Blake in a moment as Caltra keep the ball in possession outside the 65. They're going to have to try and break down this mass St. Michael's defence.
Yeah, have to commend Liam Burke there, Luke Burke, for brilliant defending. Brannigan was going through and he had to commit, and he just got a hand and probably saved a certain goal. But on the Caltra side, they just need to get the ball into Sean Kane quicker when he's one-on-one. When they do that, it causes they cause them trouble, but they haven't got enough ball into him in the second half yet.
Ferocious work rate from Caltra, though, has to be admired. St. Michael's keeping composed, are leading now by 10 points to 1-4. They'll fear that they have got a good handle on this game again, having let it slip away. There were 5 up, back to level. And remember, Alan Naughton had a free to put Caltra in front that he missed to the right hand side and wide. How pivotal will that moment be psychologically in this game? But St. Michael's have responded with the last 3. We're coming up to the end of the 3-quarter mark, which you alluded to, Dermot, is the kind of the championship quarter. We have to say, after a bit of a shaky start to that third championship quarter, St. Michael's have really responded well.
They have, yeah. In particular, Gary Higgins has just settled them down, got a few scores. But Caltra are on the move here now.
They're not out of it yet. Here's Alan Naughton now. Let's see, can he have a run? He's got 5 defenders in front of him, and it just simply doesn't have enough support. One back by St. Michael's with Stephen Kerr, and now Michael's can come again. They've their homework done. They're just well set up. Pointing forward is Fionn Cruz, looking for a bit of option up front. Chance for Connaughton, Damien that is, to flick it infield. Nice bit of play from Gary Higgins to offer himself up, but the touch has gone out over the sideline for a Caltra ball. And a substitution here for St. Michael's.
Yeah, interesting to see. It's Dave Canaan looked like he was holding his hamstring. I don't know, is he going? No, it's not him that's coming off. For St. Michael's.
Frank Daly coming off.
Frank Daly, great stalwart for St. Michael's. He's been playing for years. He's left covered every blade of grass there for a 41-year-old. Absolutely brilliant from him, and no one deserved better to lift the cup than him if St. Michael's do end up winning it.
Still have a long way to go though, and we are just entering the final quarter now. 15 gone, 15 to go. Caltra coming forward. Goalkeeper Oren Lochry almost getting into trouble there. But in the end, possession is maintained by the men in green. And they will look to try and somehow break down this St. Michael's team. Will Caltra need a second goal? That's the question. They certainly needed the one they got in the first half to keep them in the game. Now they come again. A little nudge in the back. Foul against Ethan Fiorentini. Free to Caltra. Possession is with Ono Chiali, who did kick one fabulous point in the first half. I'm sure. Wow, this is a big ask, is it? Sean Kane fancies this one. He's come out 55 yards, maybe one or two less than that, but he's certainly well over 50 metres. This is 52 metres, and he fancies this into the breeze, into the scoreboard end. Now, I, for one, am not going to doubt this young man, but this would raise the roof if he can land this one over. This is a monster kick. Let's see how he gets on. Sean Kane, it is straight, that's one thing. He's in front of the post, gets good purchase on it. It's going to drop very close. It's up and over the bar, and I tell you what, this kid has about another 5 yards to play with. What a kick!
Yeah, the minute Caltra won the free, he ran out. He said, leave the ball down. This is my range. It's brilliant confidence for him. Yeah, they just need to get more ball into him. He's a match winner if they get it into him.
He's some character, isn't he? He's just full of self-belief. Give me the ball. He's like one of these lads at under 14 level that just dominates every sector of the field. I wouldn't be surprised if St. Michael's got a penalty that he go and goals for it. He's one of those kind of characters. Let's watch St. Michael's though respond after that epic score from Sean Kane. It's his second of the game. Caltra 2 behind. 10 points St. Michael's. 1-5 for Caltra. And here comes Damien Connaughton for St. Michael's. Down the line he goes. The man in off the bench having a go at this one. And up and over the bar. Beautiful point from James Somerville. He's only on the pitch 2 minutes for Frank Daly. And Somerville puts the ball over the bar. What a sub that is to bring in.
What an introduction. He got straight onto it, looked for the ball and went straight for the black spot and slotted over the bar. Brilliant score. Exactly what you want from your bench to make an impact straight away.
Well, Gavin Somerville and James Somerville are the two lads on the bench, and it's Gavin who's come in. And what an introduction. As Jim had said, he was given 15 minutes to make his mark in a county final. Gavin wasn't going to wait 15 minutes. How about 90 seconds? And he's straight over the bar with a brilliant point. And I think for St. Michael's now, they'll see that 3-point lead, Dermot. 11 points to 1-5. It doesn't matter if Caltra score. If we keep pace with them, we'll win.
Yeah, the only thing is when you have Sean Kane at the edge of a square, a 3-point win is a very dangerous lead. So I would say for the St. Michael's, they'd like to get the 4 or the 5 points, just in case that aerial threat of Sean Kane causes trouble near the end.
And that is a big asterisk, because with a unit like that at the edge of the square, well, St. Michael's will do their best. They've got a man behind them, a man in front of them, a goalkeeper in close proximity, and a fullback who's, I suppose, currently operating around the penalty spot as well. So right now there's 4 St. Michael's men in and around Sean Kane, and even at that I'd still be renewing my insurance policy to make sure, just in case. Caltra through the centre with Ono Chiali. What a fabulous player he is. Chiali gets it back to Alan Naughton. Naughton outside the D, trying to shovel the ball back. Interesting to see the man putting the tackle in is his opposite number, Gary Higgins. The 2 number 13s coming face to face in the county final. They've had a big say in the game already. Reid Kennedy Ryan goes for the up and under. In it goes, a little touchdown again. We know this tactic where we've seen it before. Should be a score for Caltra. It is. It's old school. It's pretty effective. The man to profit is Robbie Green. But this is like a throwback to senior football in the 80s. 4 men hanging out of the big man at the edge of the square, and he uses one hand to touch the ball down. Green taps it over. 11 points to 1-6. It's back to 2.
Yeah, he's so good at using his body to create that space for himself to get a flick on, and he's so aware with his hands to flick it down to someone else. So you'd just be saying get more ball into him. He's that influential.
Poor ball from St. Michael's has allowed Caltra to come forward. They've got 3 on 2 here. This is a big chance for Caltra. Straight through the centre. It must be. It's into the back of the net. It's a goal by Mikey Mulryan, who took the pass off Owen Naughton, and all profiting from a hand pass that went astray from St. Michael's in the middle of the field. And somehow Caltra have hit the front in the intermediate final with 10 minutes to go. 2-6 for Caltra. St. Michael's 11 points, and from absolutely nowhere, Caltra have lit the fuse for the second time in this intermediate final. St. Michael's come straight back. Dave Conan, he's on the edge of the D, he's fouled, and Michael's will have a chance to get level straight away. We said Caltra might need a second goal to get back in this game. By golly, they've got it.
Yeah, but brilliant by Owen Naughton. He carried the ball in. How many times have you seen someone carry the ball in like that and shoot outside the 21 for a shot when it opens up? He carried it right in, drew the goalie out, played it across. I think was it Mikey Ryan for a tap-in goal, made sure of it. Brilliant score, but you have to say, Sean Kane, every time the ball goes around him, he's dragging them back in. I don't know how he's doing. He's so influential. You can see the St. Michael's as are down there, and they're trying to get him going and pucking him and the whole lot. But he there's no bother to him. You'd wonder, like, what should St. Michael's do now? You know, should they try and put a big lad on him? If they get ball into him, the whole crowd goes crazy. So you know, you for a Caltra point of view, say get it in. But this is a huge free for St. Michael's. Again, another influential player, Gary Higgins, over the ball, and Dave Conan down. I think it's a facial injury he has, but Michaels will be hoping he gets up.
Well, there's so many talking points and so many characters at the end of this intermediate final that we'll be talking about. You've got the dominance of Dave Conan for long chunks of this match. You've got the beautiful silky skills of the two number 13s, Gary Higgins and Alan Naughton. But I just get the feeling when the story of the 2024 intermediate final is being talked about 20 years from now, the name Sean Kane will be spoken about because his influence has been extraordinary for Caltra. Is there a fairy tale ending to this game? Well, Gary Higgins hopes not. He's kicked a 7th point for St. Michael's, his own tally. It's got Michael's up to 12, and we're level at 12 points to 2-6. Another change for St. Michael's. This time they're bringing in Jack Brown. They're taking off Finian Cruz, and Fionn Cruz has done his bit. He shakes hands with Frank Daly, another of the starting team, who has come off. Sliding tackle there was borderline, but the referee says a foul on Caltra's Oisin Butler. And right now, Dermot, for me, with 7.5 minutes to go, the sides are level at 12 points to 2-6, but both teams are now in a position to kick for home. It's not as very obvious who the winner of this might be as it would have been a few minutes ago.
Yeah, but it's a very entertaining game. Like St. Michael's have just reacted to a goal going in and went straight down and got a score. So, you know, that's a sign of a good team. It's very tough one to call this game. Both teams seems like they have their purple patch. So it's very hard, tough one to call to see who's going to win this.
Is there a third goal in Caltra is another question that's being asked, because they have that nuclear weapon at the edge of the square called Sean Kane that they seem to be able to pull out whenever they need him. And there he is, trotting in there. I don't know what the GPS tracker will tell us at the end of this game. It doesn't tell us anything, because that's one statistic that's irrelevant. If he only walks 5 or 6 steps on the edge of the square, he is just an absolute monster for Michaels to try and deal with. And let's not forget the skill of the 2 long-range frees that he's pointed from the ground, including one in the second half that measured 52 metres off the deck. A score that prompted the situation that led to a Caltra comeback that has seen them come right back into it again and level the match for the second time in the half. Caltra now looking for the lead score for the second time in this second half, and bursting through the centre, trying to get it onto the right. He's got a free. Mikey Mulryan. Listen to the cheer of the Caltra fans. They believe. They have seen their side dominate their group and their 2 championship matches to date in the intermediate knockouts. They conceded goals at the wrongest times against Glenamaddy, kicked the last 5 points of the semi-final. So let's not forget that Caltra have got some muscle memory of finishing big games strong.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Darren McCabe was last going off, which was huge last. But Mikey Mulryan coming on has been absolutely phenomenal since he's come on. He's real inspirational stuff, carrying the ball out. That was all him. He had no right to carry the ball through and win a free there. Alan Acton has slotted the ball over. So game on here again.
Well, we talk about Gary Higgins getting 7 points. Alan Naughton is matching him with a goal and 3 for now. Maybe even more as we tally that up. But it's been a right battle between the 2 number 13s. And for St. Michael's, coming forward with Dave Conan, they will look to answer straight back and try and get the equalising point. They did so last time round, and that would suggest to me that the odds would be pretty short right now on a replay. We wouldn't say no to another dose of this, Jeremy. That's been excellent.
Yeah, it's been excellent. Often you see in finals, when there's, an underdog and a red-hot favourite, it can be, a one-sided affair. But this is an absolutely brilliant game. One of the games of the year so far in both senior and intermediate. Very entertaining. And some great football being played on both sides with great characters and top-quality players on both sides too.
Gary Higgins goes with the sideline ball, but a little bit short. And Caltra win it back. I tell you what, Caltra might sense blood here as soloing out from the back, a heavy tackle on Robbie Green, and there could be trouble here. There's another Caltra man down behind us, but Caltra now are in the situation where if they score next Diarmuid and get 2 up, they're in a position to manage the game to the finish. Who'd have thought that?
Yeah, and Caltra are the team that look like there's a goal in them all the time with that aerial threat of Sean Kane. St. Michael's they haven't really threatened the goal as many times in this game. It's more kind of free taking and long range scores that's played dividends for them. So if Caltra could get a score, a 2-point lead would be a big lead for Caltra.
Well, we're going to be waiting a few seconds for this free. Of course, Caltra now, Eamon Brannigan is trying to indicate to the referee to get this game going, which he probably ought to, but referee Ger Lohan is just buying into this delay in proceedings for the time being. It suits Caltra now. They're the ones who are giving St. Michael's just a few seconds to contemplate the scoreboard and the situation they're in.
Yeah, the only thing is though, the 1-point win, they're going to hold on for the rest of the game. They're going to need another score, so they should probably try and get one more score if they can. I would presume that St. Michael's will get at least one more.
Yeah, I don't think 2-7 is going to end up winning this game. We have plenty of time to go yet. 2.5 minutes plus a good 3 minutes, I'd imagine, of stoppage time or more. So there's 5 minutes of football left on this. Caltra maybe think that one more might do it though, as they come forward. Reverse hand pass, but it was a blind ball from Ono Kelly. He's given it away, and St. Michael's now have got a free, and they can launch in the 29th minute an opportunity to get level. They will certainly be presented with one would think. They build from the back. Ethan Fiorentini to the right hand side of a darkening Tube Stadium, gets it across to Jack Brown. Jack in the corner, only one man to go for, and that's Dave Conan. Who's going to be the hero for St. Michael's to get the score? The short money would be on Gary Higgins to pop up somewhere. Little ball across towards Owen Kern. Is he going to shoot? Gary Higgins is the man. Is he going to go for it? No, not when he's being marshalled so closely. Caltra have got plenty of men back right now. The only man up is Sean Kane. Is there a shot? Surely somebody's going to wind up for a shot at the post. Is it Dave Hurley? Goes across the 45. St. Michael's just playing with fire here. They can't afford to give away possession. Eamon Brannigan, is he going to go from distance? He goes for a dummy solo. Is he fouled? Referee says no. Touched the ball on the ground. Brannigan just overplayed it. And I think St. Michael's had 1 or 2 opportunities there to wind up for a shot in a better position than that, and the clock is against them. They really can't afford to be tipping around on the edge of the D in semicircle. St. Michael's have won it back though. This is a big moment. They've got themselves a free advantage coming. Referee blows it back. Looks like the signal for injury time is coming as well. So all of that is going to add up to this being a very, very important moment. I think Gary Higgins fancies it. He's kicked a point from this position from play with the pressure on for a free. Oh, it's a big ask, isn't it? 48 metres out, off the hands, left-footed. He's just to the right of the posts, kicking into the town goal in Tuam Stadium. There's a smidgen of a breeze behind him, but he fancies it. This would be his 8th point. He's dropped it short. It's dangerous though. In around the house. It's punched over the bar. Michaels have got level. The ball dropped short. The man with the touch is Conal Gallagher. That could have gone anywhere, but it's nestled on the top of the net. It's a point for Michaels. We're level. And I'd say it is going to be 5 minutes to be added on. Michaels are bringing in Brian Harlow. What a sub to bring in for injury time. Is there a winner in it, Dermot Blake?
Yeah, well, Brian Harlow can kick points, so they'll be hoping he'll make an impact. But what a game it's been. Another 5 minutes of this. You hope it will go on forever. It's so entertainment. But brilliant flick on from Conal Gallagher there from a free drop short. Quick thinking. It could have went anywhere, but be delighted with a point.
Whatever happens in this intermediate final, it's going to be heartbreak from one of these sides. St. Michael's win the breaking ball in the middle of the field. It's with Gavin Somerville. He's already kicked 1 point. He's bottled up and he's fouled. Illegal tackle by Ono Kelly. Caltra distraught with that decision. They've got a few decisions themselves, so everything balances out in a game. Ethan Fiorentini, I don't know, seems half thinking of calling up a goalkeeper there. He's looking around him, but St. Michael's need to get on with it. They do. It's into Dave Cunningham. Cunningham goes back to Fiorentini. Caltra can't afford to foul. We're in injury time. 5 minutes to be added on. The stoppage time. We've a minute of the 5 played. 4 to go. Brian Harlow on the ball. Harlow down in the left half forward position. Plays it into the corner at the gate of Tuam Stadium on the entrance. There's a big crowd here, over 2,000, enjoying this clash of Michaels and Caltra. They've won 3 intermediate championships between them. 2 for the city side, 1 for Caltra. But all of that counts for naught in the past. Caltra trying to win it back. It's with Kern. Plays it inside. Opportunity for Michaels to win a free in. They've got the free in. Caltra bottled him up, but the foul was in on Jack Brown. And it's going to be a chance for Michaels to hit the front, and they will hit the front with Gary Higgins. Caltra just far too eager, and now the ref is going to bring it in. It's a tap over free on the 13-metre line, and Caltra are going to have to dig out a point in the last 3 minutes of stoppage time to rescue this and send us to a replay, because Gary Higgins is going to get point number 8. This time it's going to be a tap over. It'll be a 5th free, an 8th in total. It's been a great performance from him, but St. Michael's might just get this one over the line. 14 points to 2-7. St. Michael's lead. Gary Higgins with the point. St. Michael's have responded though, you have to give them credit.
Yeah, just Caltra a small bit eager, trying to win the ball back, and have fouled St. Michael's a few times and give them easy scores, but they're going to have to hold the head now and get one more score if they can.
Here's the kick out, it's the most important of the game so far. Underneath, and it's one in the middle of the field. Brilliant catch by Gallagher. Conal Gallagher has been a star man for St. Michael's during this game as well. Are the city side, the side who are senior in 2023, are they going to show the resilience that's needed to get through an intermediate final that many felt they'd win handy? They haven't won it handy. Caltra have been absolutely majestic. They've been utterly brave and heroic. They've led twice in the second half, thanks in the main to the scoring of Alan Naughton and Sean Kane up front. But now they're going to have to dig somehow to the deepest of their reserves and get an equalising point to take us to a replay. No extra time on day 1 of a county final. Michaels though, are they playing with fire, trying to keep the ball and play out this game? 2-7 Caltra is 1 short of St. Michael's tally of 14. Another point for St. Michael's will be enough for them to be crowned the champions, you would feel. But by golly, they've been in a battle. They're running down the clock now.
Yeah, Caltra just have to come out now and go man on man. They need to win the ball. They're sitting back slightly. They have to just try and press up, gamble a small bit. There's only 2 minutes left.
2 minutes for Caltra to rescue the game, 2 minutes for St. Michael's to manage it and see it out, and they've done it plenty of times in big games in senior football. Remember, they were in the Division 1 League semi-finals this year. They're keeping the same company as Corofin and Tuam Stars. They're wondering, I'm sure, how are they involved in an intermediate final just to get back up senior to play championship next year. Michael's are making a last ditch, maybe to use up a bit of time, but Eamon O'Donnell is in. They're taking off. Are they taking off Dave Cunningham, their hero, for the last few seconds? Yeah, Cunningham has got off. Hard to believe, but I think this is just a case of running the clock. It'll add another 30 seconds at the end of it all. I don't know what I'd be taking off Dave Cunningham. A point up with a minute to go in a county final, no matter what condition he's in.
I think he's the furthest player away from the sideline, but he seems like he was careless as an injury in the second half. He was looks like he's something slightly tweaked, but huge performance from him. Would be in one of the contenders for man of the match if St. Michael's do get over the line.
Ross Hannon is in for Caltra. They've taken off Robbie Green, who's had a great performance as well. Now here come Caltra, looking to draw the county final. Oran Lockery, the keeper, up to the 65-metre line. He's in the middle of the field. All 30 players are in the St. Michael's half of the pitch right now. This is Hail Mary stuff for Caltra, but they have got somebody at the edge of the square that might just answer their prayers if they get the ball into him. Will they need to? The ball is out with Keelan Murray. Keelan trying to get it into the danger zone, but Caltra are playing way outside the zone at the moment. Brendan McLaughlin, it's too far from goal. It's with Enda Murray. They somehow have to try and get the ball into the area where they can win a free or get a shot at the post. Lovely break through the tackle. Opportunity. It's into the hand. It's the fullback. It's a shot in around the goal. It's going to drop off the crossbar. It's over the bar. Caltra's got the leveller. Enda Murray is the man. Somebody had to answer the prayers of the Caltra faithful. And who'd have picked Enda Murray of all people? Michaels have to come again to try and get a winning point. We've got about 30 seconds to play. The referee looks at the watch. There's one more play left in the game. It's with Brian Madden. Madden plays it long down the side. It's with Somerville. St. Michael's looking to win the game. They've won it 3 times already. They might have to win it for a 4th. Somerville down the line. Everybody's on their feet. Who's going to kick the winner? Is it the cornerback? Stephen Kerr is in on goal. Kerr is straight through to punch the winning point. It's blocked out for a 45. The referee stops. The umpire says 45. The referee's going to let him take it. There's going to be one more kick left in the county final.
What a score. I have to go back to Enda Murray at fullback. What a brilliant score to bring it to level again. But all eyes on Gary Higgins now. I presume he's going to take it. He's the guy who kicked the 45 at the start of the game in the first half. This is a humongous kick, the kick of his life.
Well, we've seen dramatic finishes in the Intermediate Championship finals over the years. This will take the biscuit. Gary Higgins with the last kick of the game to win it for St. Michael's. Caltra hold their breath. A hush descends on Tube Stadium. Gary Higgins to win it for Michaels from the 45, left-footed. He strikes it up. He strikes it wide. It's only a lick of paint to the right-hand side. It's all over. Dermot, we get to do it again. But everybody must surely stand to their feet. What an intermediate county final. Caltra 2-8, St. Michael's 14 points. It's all over. By law Ella Aggie next weekend. How do you begin to sum that up?
Yeah, you have to say it's probably the fairest result. It'd be a cruel defeat for any one of them teams to lose that in such a brilliant game. There's no extra time. It's unusual. There's no extra time in the way games are now because they always are. It's another day out. But what a game of football! That game of football had absolutely everything. Tit for tat all the way. If you think back, the game was nearly gone from Caltra. They were 5 points down, and they came from the dead. Few balls into the square and got a couple of goals. But St. Michael's answered Caltra's. Anytime Caltra came good, St. Michael's came right up the field and got another score. So you have to commend their belief and their resilience to keep coming back. And they had that chance right at the end from Gary to kick it. But what a game he had in a county final. That would have probably tipped it off if it went over the bar, but I think a fair result is a draw game, but what a cracking game. I'm sure there'll be as big a crowd, if not more, at the replay.
Well, if you weren't here today to see this, do not miss part 2. An epic game. We mentioned the key players though, the key characters in this extraordinary drama. Best actor could have gone to a number of different performers, but where does Sean Kane stand for you in the reckoning? From pulling a Caltra team that, let's be honest, Dermot, over the 70 minutes that were played between injury time in both halves, St. Michael's were on top probably for between 55 and 60. But the few minutes that Caltra had where they were dragging themselves back, they had this extraordinary weapon, this plan B go-to guy that say, lads, if we're under awful pressure, just horse it into the big guy, and boy did he deliver.
Yeah, he just has this influence. You can just see it with the other players. They seem to go to him when they really need it most, and he's such a big guy, but his influence out there, when Caltra are struggling, he puts his hand up, he comes out for free, he puts his hand up, says says, kick it in here, I'll win it inside. You know, he just has that charisma about him. Fantastic player for a young team, shows great leadership there to drag them back into it. But he wasn't the only one. Alan Nocton was very good as well. I thought Mikey Marine, when he came on, was phenomenal, and so was Owen Nocton for Caltra. Dave Canaan was phenomenal as well, particularly in the first half. He seemed like he ran out a bit of steam or picked up a small niggle. He was outstanding. And also, of course, Conal Gallagher at midfield was phenomenal. And inside then, you know, Gary Higgins, 7 points in the county final. Very unlucky not to be lifting the cup this evening, but an unbelievable game, a game he'll remember forever.
Well, we've been thoroughly entertained, and we get to do it all over again. Jim, many thanks to you for your commentary work again. I can't wait for the replay next weekend. We'll find out when. I presume it'll be Saturday, because here on Sunday will be Corofin against Pádraig Pearses. What might complicate this fixture as well is the fact that Connacht quarter-final is here in Tuam Stadium. Will they play a match on the Saturday here in Tuam, or you know what are the alternatives? Because Pearse Stadium, of course, is out of action with the floodlights. So pitch is in pretty good nick. I can't see any issue why you wouldn't play the intermediate replay here next Saturday with Corofin and Pádraig Pearses of Roscommon in the Connacht Senior Club Championship on Sunday. Also next Sunday, the County Senior Hurling Final. Next weekend is going to be a bumper weekend in Galway GAA, but this might well be the fixture that everybody will look forward to seeing. Part 2 again. Caltra against St. Michael's for the second time of asking. It's finished up here as well, though, in a draw match. Caltra 2-8, St. Michael's 14 points. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll do it all over again next weekend for the Galway Intermediate Football Championship title.
QFinancial.ie got the price and it buys for me.
Pension auto-enrolment will soon be introduced. This means that all full-time workers over the age of 23 earning more than €20,000 per year must contribute to a pension, and employers must contribute. What are those pension entitlements, and is there independent advice available? The Q Financial Pension Team are experienced in advising both employees and employers of the positive and affordable options available for your situation. Call 091 421 900 or log on to qfinancial.ie.
Q Financial, qfinancial.ie.
Based in Clare, Galway, OMA Financial Services Limited, trading as qfinancial.ie, is an authorised independent pension intermediary regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
We redefine your relationship with energy, save you money, and get you on the path to a cleaner, greener future. JFW Renewables, your nationwide solar energy specialists. Call us today for a greener tomorrow.
Every single ticket that's sold, 5% of proceeds from that ticket is going to Jigsaw to help us provide free therapy for young people aged 12 to 25 across Galway City and County who are experiencing difficulty with their mental health.
Former Galway man. He's operating right at the edge of the square as we speak. Let's watch this free from Gary Higgins, left-footed, as he strikes it beautifully up the line.
And although the aerial ball is probably what he wants, he doesn't mind the ball in front as well, and he can take on his man. So he's very dangerous inside.
3-0. as he strikes it well. Plenty of distance. Has he got the curl? He certainly has. It's a beauty. Oh, he's a fine striker of a ball.
Yeah.
That goal chance, remember, that was blazed wide. And on this occasion, they come forward. It should be their first score. The ball is driven up and over the bar. An unusual statistic, that one. Here's a snapshot that's gone up and over the bar. Well, everybody stopped and looked. Over on the left-hand side, Owen Kern gets it across again towards Conan. Curls it around. Oh, it's a beauty. It's an absolute...
Man sitting in front of him. If Sean is to do well in the high ball, it'll probably need to come in a bit earlier. But what very impressive by...
Get a little bit more purchase on the curl and strikes this one much better. That's a far more decent strike. And this time Alan knocked it. Ethan Fiorentini goes to ground, pops it off. Opportunity now for Gallagher. Lovely curling ball, high, up and over the bar. It's an absolute beauty. 7-2. He's going for one of these kind of goalkeeper type of slots with the outside of the left. It's got great purchase on it. It's up, it's over the bar. Well, I'll tell you what.
A top quality player and a brilliant free there. Exactly what Caltra needed.
Well, St. Michael's are going cracked that there wasn't a free given for a foul on Conal Gallagher. Now it's in the top of the square. Here's Nocton. A goal for Caltra with the last play of the... St. Michael's still battling away, but Caltra have overturned it. It's with Nocton. Allen off the left, chips it up and over the bar. Allen oh, a lovely touch. Beautiful play from Gary Higgins. Gary's in on goal here on the left-hand side. Should be a point, and is. Gary Higgins slots again. Interesting to see both left-footed number 13s are very similar. Gary Higgins goes for a monster point from out the field. Triple header of points from Gary Higgins to put his side 3 up. Off the left, plenty of power. What a striker of a ball. He's in front of the post, gets good purchase on it. It's going to drop very close. It's up and over the bar. And I tell you what, this kid has a... Damien Connaughton for St. Michael's. Down the line he goes. The man in off the bench, having a go at this one. And up and over the bar. Beautiful under. In it goes. A little touchdown again. We know this tactic where we've seen it before. Should be a score for Caltra. It is.
You'd just be saying get more ball into him. He's that influential.
Poor ball from St. Michael's has allowed Caltra to come forward. They've got 3-on-2 here. This is a big chance for Caltra. Straight through the centre. It must be. It's into the back of the net. It's a goal by Mikey Mulryan. 20 years from now, the name Sean Kane will be spoken about because his influence has been extraordinary for Caltra.
Phenomenal since he's come on. He's real inspirational and stuff. Carrying the ball out. That was all him. He had no right to carry the ball through and win a free there.
This would be his 8th point. He's dropped it short. It's dangerous though. In around the house. It's punched over the bar. Michael's have got performance from him, but St. Michael's might just get this one over the line. 14 points to 2-7. St. Michael's lead. Gary Higgins with the point. Lovely break through the tackle. Opportunity. It's into the hand. It's the fullback. It's a shot in around the goal. It's going to drop off the crossbar. It's over the bar. Caltra's got the